Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So you will see I already have eyeshadow on. That's because I filmed a little video before this. I will link it down in the description box if it's already up. But today is not about that. Today is about me trying primer. And I know I don't normally try primers, but now is the testing video. The testing video to see if primers work. So I thought, if I'm going to test if a primer works, I'm going to go high end for a primer that people like rave about, that they love, because to me then I'm testing if it actually works. Do you know what I'm saying? So I have the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. Now I feel like everyone has tried like a version of this. Like I see it all over. Smashbox send out enough PR that people tend to have tried it. So basically the idea is I'm going to use half of it not half of it, like the entire thing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half of my face with primer, half of my face without. We'll see whether the foundation looks any better with or without. And we'll see if it lasts any longer. Say it becomes more matte, say it becomes more shiny. We're going to see what this primer does and we're going to see if it works. So I'm going to use a foundation that I know like how it wears, how it looks, that I absolutely love. So this is the CYO Long Lasting Life Proof Foundation. You can see I've used a significant amount of it. It's really nice, it's really smoothing. I have like really decent skin at the moment actually. So I feel like it's going to wear really nicely. So I want to see if this primer makes any difference at all, whether it makes me more shiny, more oily throughout the day, more dry. We're going to see. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you press that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I upload. So this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. So you'll have seen this in my latest haul video. And I said it was maybe between £20 and £30 for a bottle. And I was right, it's £26 for a bottle, which is high end. This is better transform my makeup if I'm paying that, so I have a sample. Let's be honest, it's me, I'm going to have a sample, I'm not necessarily going to have a full size. So we're going to try this on this half of my face, I think. And I think I'm going to apply it with my hands. I think I'm going to be able to push it into my skin a bit better with my hands. I feel like with a brush, it's not necessarily going to go on as smoothly. Or it is, but it's just not going to press in enough. And I feel like it needs to do that to work well as a primer. Otherwise your makeup's just going to slick right off. So it is clear. It's not tinted, it's not supposed to be doing anything to the skin as far as I'm aware in terms of colour correcting. This feels super silicone-y almost. So I'm just trying to push it as I like move it around my skin. I'm just trying to push it in so you can see my face going red from the effort. It's sensitive enough that pushing something like this into the skin is going to do that. So I thought I'd just try it on like the full side of my face. I wasn't going to just go for problem areas because I felt like that doesn't display how it should wear all over the skin. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think this is specifically made for targeting any kind of problem area. It's just supposed to be really nice to make your makeup go on easier. I don't know if it's supposed to help it last longer, but this is what I'm going to test out today. So looking at my skin close up in the mirror now, I don't see any difference. Like my skin feels different, don't get me wrong. I feel like this has smoothed this side of my face out a little bit more, but I don't feel like it feels much different, to be honest. So I don't know if my foundation's going to apply differently, wear differently, but my skin does feel smoother. Like I can feel like my skin feels like a little bit dry on this side, even though I've used my regular skincare. In comparison, that's the only difference. So I do like to apply this foundation with a sponge. I get medium coverage with a sponge. So one pump. We're going to do the primer side first. So my foundation looks to be going on near enough exactly the same. I do have a review of this foundation if you're interested that I link in the description box down below. But this primer doesn't seem to be doing much. It looks pretty smooth. It looks very similar to me as to how I normally apply it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a pump again on the rest of my face. Now I expected the sponge to soak up some product, to be honest. Like I just washed it, you know, it is damp, but we're going to see. So This is a really smoothing foundation, so I do expect it to look regularly smooth on my skin. So honestly, I don't see a difference so far. Like, I don't feel like my face looks any more matte on one side or any more luminous. Like, the coverage is the same. Like, I don't know, it hasn't made the foundation darker or patchy, at least. I don't know. Not anything obvious, to be honest. Like, I don't know if my foundation's actually applied smoother perhaps on this cheek, the one without the primer. It might be me, you never know. I might just have more texture on one side. It's not significantly different enough that I would say so far that this primer is like necessary. It might help it last. Now if a primer helps my makeup last, then I would purchase it. Like, you know, I want my makeup to last. I wear my makeup for hours and hours and hours and hours. So we'll see how it goes. It doesn't feel any different. Like, my skin, it doesn't feel super tacky on this side. It normally doesn't feel super tacky. I just set my cheeks. It feels maybe a touch tackier almost on this side. Like, it didn't feel tacky like a sticky primer when I applied it, so it wasn't like a grip lock primer to me. But my skin feels just a bit drier on this side. So perhaps this is going to be a bit more like moisturising, I suppose, which may help in terms of those of you with dry skin. It may help with any like dry flaky bits that you have, but I don't have any dry flaky bits at the moment, so it hasn't done anything for me in that sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the rest of my makeup on and I'm going to see if it applied the same, how it looks at the end, the finished product, and I'll be right back. So I popped the rest of my makeup on, and looking at my skin in the mirror, it doesn't seem much different. It doesn't feel any different, like, at all really. Like, it felt smoother obviously when I first put the primer on, but I don't think that's made any difference in terms of makeup application. Not really. Like, I just don't see it, you know. I'm hoping that this is one that makes your makeup last longer, otherwise I'm not 100% as to why, like, I would pay £26 for this primer. I mean, I'm sure there are other primers that work better, perhaps. I think that might be worth a go. I may test out some more primers, see if they work. But so far to me, this primer isn't doing much for my skin. If it leaves it more moisturised at the end, then to me it's a moisturiser rather than a primer. Do you know what I'm saying? That you can use under your makeup. However, I don't see any difference made here so far. So what I'm going to do is, like with foundation reviews, I'm going to check in with you guys throughout the day and we'll see how my makeup holds up, if it breaks down more on one side on the other, if it creases more on one side on the other. To me, the only thing I've noticed is slightly less creasing under this eye than this one. That's it. But you know what? I get creasing under both eyes anyway. And the fact that this creasing is slightly less, it means that I would only apply it then to this area, which will then save on primer. What do you need it all over the face for? But again, we'll see when we come back to it. So I'm back and it's about 8.5 hours later. I was going to do a check-in in the middle of the day, but there was like no change, so I didn't really see the point. My makeup started to break down a little bit, as it tends to do. I'm not loving my makeup today. Like, I like my eyeshadow, but like, I'm not used to like this pinky blush. It just doesn't look right, and I don't feel like it's blended well on my skin, so that has put me off significantly. But looking at the rest of my makeup, I feel like, I believe, was this the primer side? It was. I'm getting spots coming up. I don't know if that's breaking me out, because I've worn all this other stuff before, and I know that the CYO foundation doesn't break me out. I know my bronzer doesn't break me out. Perhaps the blush, but anyway, I spoke to Sam when he came in, and he said this side looks like a little bit more glowy, but I feel like it's just like my makeup's just not looking quite so good. I feel a little matter on this side. I get what he's saying. My skin feels less powdery on this side, and I don't know, it just doesn't look quite so nice to me. I'm getting a little bit of dryness here. Like, I feel like though it was more of a moisturising factor than it was anything else. I don't feel like it was like ultra glowy in the sense of you could immediately tell a difference. But I feel like my oils have come through a little bit more, so I feel like this is probably more for you dry skinned kind of girls. but otherwise I'm not like super into it. I think if you need a more moisturising base on top of your normal moisturiser, then this might be a good plan for you. But to me, primer's just not done anything for me. I might try a couple more, we'll review more from like different brands and things like that. But to me, I'm not a massive fan of this primer. I mean, there's a few primers that I'm desperate to try from Smashbox, the Radiance Primer and the Primer Water, but this has just not really worked for me. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. And if you press that notification bell, then you'll be notified every time I upload. Thank you for watching.